Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be trying out the new Maybelline Superstay Full Coverage Foundation. It just came out on Ulta, just launched, so I was super excited. I picked it up right away. Love trying out new foundations if you guys don't know that yet. So if you want to see how this foundation works, just keep on watching. Okay you guys, so like I said, I picked this up from Ulta. It did retail for $11.99. I picked it up in the shade 128 Warm Nude. They don't have the numbers on the website, but they do have the shade names, Warm Nude. It didn't say like what kind of undertones or anything it had in it. It was just between like light ivory and then like buff beige or something like that, and I was like, well, I'm not quite light ivory, but I'm definitely not like buff beige, so I was like, I'll try out Warm Nude, I guess. So hopefully this works out for me today. This foundation does come in 16 shades, so you know, you've got some color selection there for sure. And then on the back of the bottle, they actually state all the claims here. So it says it is full coverage, provides up to a 24-hour wear. It has a seamless matte finish. It's breathable, it's comfortable, it's fade and transfer resistant, oil-free, doesn't clog your pores, and dermatologist tested. So a lot of claims here. I'm excited to hear that they say fade and transfer resistant because I love that in a foundation. So if that's true, that's great. If not, it's not a huge deal. With that, let's just go ahead and apply this. And I already did prime my face. Today I'm just using my Too Faced Primed and Peachy Primer. It's my absolute favorite primer. I think that all my foundations perform the best with this primer. So I thought, you know, for this video today, you know, just to give the foundation as fair of a chance as all my other foundations, I'll use my Primed and Peachy Primer. Okay guys, I took off the cap and I'm super excited. It is a pump top, so that's awesome. I love pump tops. A lot of times drugstore foundations do not have pump tops, you know, it just has the little pore thing, so I'm really happy about this. That actually doesn't look like a bad color match for me, honestly. My face is a lot lighter than the rest of my body. So right off the bat, I do just want to say it is incredibly full coverage. So here is the foundation. It's very full coverage. The consistency of the foundation itself is very thick, but it was really easy to kind of blend out, spread around. It looks good in the fact that it's full coverage, but I wouldn't say that it makes your skin look flawless like they say that it should. I'm most excited to see how this foundation lasts throughout the day. So I think what I'm going to do is go ahead and just finish the rest of my makeup, and then I'll be right back and we'll look at the coverage again and kind of see how my complexion looks. Okay you guys, I did actually just apply a little bit more foundation like onto my chin and like on my cheeks a little bit because I decided I didn't like the way it looked as I was kind of like nitpicking it apart off camera. So I did apply a little bit more and I actually am liking it a lot better now. So I'm going to go ahead and finish the rest of my makeup and then I'll be right back. Okay guys, finished the rest of my makeup. Just wanted to kind of zoom in on my face for you guys so you guys could look at the foundation kind of overall, how it's been set, how it's sitting, whatever. So this is how it's looking. I think it's looking really good. I always think that once you put on the rest of your makeup that, you know, your foundation looks a bit better. I do definitely think that it oxidized a little bit. Maybe, you know, like a half a shade, maybe even a full shade, or just kind of like in between that half shade and full shade. So just to let you guys know that, because that is really important. It did dry down like really fast, and it kind of dried down to like a powdery finish. So I really didn't need to set my face with setting powder, but I did anyway, just because that's what I would normally do. But it was really like powdery feeling, which was kind of cool. So if you're somebody that doesn't really like to use setting powder, this is definitely more of like a drier foundation. So I did notice though, but because it does do that, there was like some like splotchy spots on my face, and I just blended them out. It was fine, but you know, if you're kind of in a rush and getting ready and you don't notice that, and then you notice that later, I mean, I've had that before. I've done that before where I've had like splotchy spots on my face and I didn't notice because I was in a rush, and then I get to work or wherever I am and I'm like, oh my god, it looks like I didn't blend out my foundation today. So that's something to know. I know not all my foundations do that, and sometimes it just depends on the primer. But otherwise, you guys, I'm really liking it so far. I'm excited to see how it holds up. I think it's looking really matte. It's been about 20 minutes since I put on my foundation. It's about 7:20 right now, so I am going to be going to work. I'm going to be there all day. I'll be there till 8 o'clock at night, so I will check in with you guys later, and we'll have a full day, and we'll see how this makeup is holding up, because it does claim to be a 24-hour wear, so I think that if I wear it for a good 13 hours, you know, it should at least still be holding up somewhat, right? Because that's about a half a day. So I will see you guys after a bit. I'm back. It is now 8:30. I just got off work. I'm literally still in my work uniform because I wanted to get this done and show how this foundation's holding up for you guys. So let me just zoom in on my face here so you guys can see everything. So let me just repeat, this foundation is $11.99. It's a drugstore new Maybelline foundation, and it held up incredibly well. It looks so good. I put my makeup on, finished my makeup at like 7:30. It's been 13 hours. Like, that's insane. I've never had a drugstore foundation hold up this long, so I'm very, very impressed. It still looks full coverage. And I usually get pretty oily like in my T-zone area, and I am hardly oily at all. So that is amazing. It looks really good. It's kind of one of those foundations where at first I wasn't like amazed by the finish of it. I was just kind of like, oh, it looks fine, you know, it's full coverage. That's what I expected it to be. It's labeled as full coverage, so I would hope so, you know. So it definitely is. But as time went by throughout the day, like, and my kind of natural oils went through the foundation, just kind of, you know, just wore normally, it, you know, looks a lot better. Like, I don't know, I would compare it like to my Urban Decay, what is this, the All Nighter foundation, because this one is kind of like that too, where it's super full coverage. The finish isn't like amazing, but once you kind of go on throughout your day, it wears a lot better. It looks more natural, more normal. So definitely really liking this foundation. And honestly, just overall, I think I would compare it, just besides that fact, I would compare it to the Urban Decay All Nighter. So if you guys like this one, this is a really good dupe, and you would definitely like this one also. I'm just really, really happy with it. I think I found like a new foundation to keep on hand all the time, because I have my favorite like high-end foundations, but I didn't really have a favorite drugstore. I would probably say before this, my favorite drugstore was just like that new CYO matte foundation, but I even like this one more than that one. This one's really, really good. Do want to say it did, you know, oxidize a bit. I said that earlier, but I wanted to say that again just to reiterate that. It does claim to be transfer resistant, and I would say that it mostly is. You know, it's not 100% transfer resistant, but you know, touching my face, hardly anything came off. You know, obviously, like, in the spots where I'm oily, it transfers a little bit more. So you just got to think about that. If you're really oily, you know, it'll probably transfer more. But if you're pretty normal, dry, and it won't transfer much, if at all. So I was really, really happy about that, because I put this sweatshirt on over my head, and, you know, like nothing transferred onto the sweatshirt, so that was great. So it was just kind of like touching my face throughout the day. It would transfer just the ittiest bit, but hardly, you know. So I'm really, really happy about that. Finding transfer resistant foundations is insanely hard. A lot of companies market their foundations as transfer resistant, and they end up not being transfer resistant, so that's kind of a bummer. But this one is mostly transfer resistant, so that is amazing. So all in all, this was a great experience for me. I'm really, really happy. Like I said, I gave it such a fair chance using my favorite Primed and Peachy primer, because I think that primer is amazing, and it does help out most foundations. So, I mean, if you don't use that primer, I mean, I can't say, because obviously a foundation is going to work different with different primers, but that's the primer that I use all the time, and it worked great with that one. So I don't know, you guys, that is my review on the new Maybelline Superstay Full Coverage Foundation. Again, I wore the shade 128 Warm Nude, and I think it was a pretty good match. Just a little bit dark, but not too bad. Otherwise, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and I will see you guys in my next one. Thank you so much for watching.